All right, guys, let's spill some tea. And today's episode is very lighthearted and it's pretty funny, actually. This is from Ask Reddit, and the question is, what's a secret you'll never tell your spouse or significant other? And there's going to be a bunch of random people's responses, and it's pretty cool. All right, let's get into it. So, what's a secret you'll never tell your spouse, your husband or wife? That something happened, but you'll never tell them. You'll take it to your grave, basically. All right. That I left the Nintendo Switch you gifted me on a bus. The Switch that you see me using is a replacement that I bought on eBay. Ooh, so he or she got a Nintendo Switch and they lost it on the bus. All right. Remember when we were engaged and visited your mom in the hospital and she let a fart so rank that your eyes watered and we still talk about it 20 years later? That was me. That's pretty funny. All right, let's keep going. Sometimes when I shake the Kleenex outside, the spider isn't in it. So I'm just picturing the wife is like, "Hey, there's a spider in the Kleenex," and the husband is, "Okay, let me go shake it outside," and he just pretends to do it, and the spider's not even in it. All right. The one time when we went camping for 3 nights, I left the garden hose on at home full blast, and we got a $700 water bill. Yikes. Oh my God. All right. Bad boy. That I farted and him checking the entire house, as well as asking the neighbors if they smelled anything because he thought it could be a gas leak, was a waste of time. Oh, yeah. Sometimes we pretend it wasn't us, right? Early on in our relationship, I made breakfast for my then girlfriend and her kids using some pancake mix she had in the pantry. After making the pancakes and serving to them, I went to mix up a little more to make mine, and I realized there were some maggots in the dry mix. Ooh. They were pretty much done eating and telling me how good they were. I decided that ignorance was better than telling them, taking that one to my grave. Understandable, man. Understandable. How we really met. He thinks a mutual friend decided to play matchmaker, which is true, but not the full picture. A friend of mine sent screenshots of my significant other's dating app profile saying, "I've just found your future husband." Some light Googling led me to discover we shared a mutual friend. I spoke to him and he played matchmaker. Okay. 6 years later, I'm never telling him that I basically stalked him first. Okay. Yeah. She Googled him, and I guess Bob's your uncle. Every paycheck, I take out $25 to $30 in small bills and slip some bills into her pockets while I'm folding laundry. Money's tight, and it's the source of a lot of anxiety for her. So to see how excited, relieved she gets when she finds it makes me happy. That's pretty wholesome. All right, next one. That I didn't actually like her when I said I did, but it was the best lie outcome ever. For context, one day we're playing Truth or Dare, and I said truth. She asked me who I liked, and I didn't have someone, so I just said her. 4 years later, I love the hell out of her. She recognized my username, and now she has a Reddit. Are you proud of yourself? All right, cool. I saw on the call display that the jewelry store. So, again, these are secrets that people are coming clean with because they know it's anonymous, but once in a while, people do find out about it, right? But usually, these usernames, nobody knows who they are. All right. I saw on the call display that the jewelry store was calling. I let him answer it. He immediately left to run an errand and came home and took me out skating, where he romantically proposed on a frozen pond under a floodlight. We'll be married 20 years this year. I can't tell him I knew the whole time. I just can't. ETA, we had gone a few weeks before to pick the ring out, and we had talked in depth about getting engaged. It wasn't a complete surprise, but he did want his proposal to be a surprise, and it really was special, even though I knew. So romantic. All right, I sleep better alone than with her. She loves sleeping together. Okay, wow, this is a hot topic. So both me and my wife, we don't like we cuddle, but we don't like sleeping together cuddling. So we have a king size bed and we have separate blankets. So I think that's the key. So I know some spouses even have separate rooms, but I think one bed and separate blankets is the way to go. Wow, this blew up way bigger than I was expecting. More context. I haven't told her, but believe she suspects it because she has been making suggestions, sleeping more in my place, etc., etc. To single person. Okay, cool. I pooped in the ocean while snorkeling off of Hawaii, and that was the reason for all the beautiful fish swarming around us. Oh wow. Bon appetit, dear fish. Yes, indeed. It was magical. So I've gone snorkeling once in Thailand and they threw some pineapple from the boat and the fish just swarm you and they're all around you. And I just can imagine, how did he poop? Okay, so many questions. Was it in his pants? Was it outside? Was it around other people? Actually, I don't want to know. All right, what's this guy's secret or girls? I failed school. I had to take a basic education course before getting into uni, and that it took me 8 years to graduate from a 3 year degree. That's fair. Things happen. I knew you were going to propose. You left an email up on the computer where you sent a ring to a friend asking her if I would like it. I immediately closed the email and went on about my day. We went on the 2 week long trip to Hawaii. One of the days you told me to dress up, and I wore this cute white summer dress. I still remember the way you looked at me. You looked at peace. We drove up the coast to the beach your friend recommended. As soon as we pull in, it dawns on you that it isn't a private beach. It's pure madness, people everywhere. I saw the look of panic on your face. I squeezed your arm and said, let's keep driving. We grabbed dinner at a mom and pop place and found the most beautiful secluded beach after. That's where you proposed, and it was perfect. Oh my God. So romantic, so beautiful. Wow. How much I've spent setting up this saltwater fish tank. She called me crazy for spending $1,000 on lights. Exotic fish is an expensive hobby. A friend of mine does it, and yeah, it's corals, it's tanks, it's lights, it's a lot, right? My mother-in-law came to visit us, and she and my wife were home, and when I arrived home from work, apparently her mother was not feeling well because she was taking her temperature. When I looked in the medicine cabinet, I realized that the oral thermometer was still in the cupboard, and the anal thermometer for my son was missing. They look very similar, and I suggested to my wife that we need to mark one so no mishaps would ever occur. My wife told me that I was being ridiculous, so I didn't because I know the difference between the two. But oh, and it is spelled with two T's because the mother-in-law, I guess she got it coming. She had it coming, right? Took the anal thermometer in her mouth. All right, enough said. One time I left my younger daughter, middle child, in a hot car and forgot she was there. My wife and my oldest daughter had gotten out and went into a theater where the oldest daughter had her dance recital. I parked the car about 100 feet away, and for some reason, maybe because my wife and daughter got out, my stupid brain just decided to go into kid-free mode. To say I panicked 10 minutes later when I remembered would be an understatement. I was mid-conversation with someone, and when I remembered her, I just turned and ran. No explanation. I sprinted to the car, but knowing it was only 10 minutes, I knew it would be okay. There she was, a little sweaty, but just sitting there and looking around. Smiled when she saw me. This memory haunts me. I frequently lose sleep or have to pull my mind off of it. The thought of what would have happened and how easy it was to forget her will never leave me. Always double check for your kids, folks. Even if you think you're good or have a great memory. Nowadays, somebody would have broken that window, right? That's the new trend. But to be fair, you can die in a hot car. Kids have died. Good on you, man. It sucks that you forgot, but it's good that you remembered and that you ran for it. That sometimes I stay 10 to 15 minutes in the car before coming up the house. Not ashamed of it or something, but I like some me time to be private and not judged. Addendum. It's mostly so that the stress from outside, I won't bring it to our home. Not good bringing negative energy, emotions when facing your kid at home. Yeah, decompress a little bit in the car. Cool. That I'm the one who calls her every year and sings her happy birthday in a funny voice. If she's figured it out, she'd probably say that's what she'll never tell. Okay. I knocked the TV off the IKEA Kallax shelf. I was walking quickly with the laundry basket half on my hip and knocked into the shelf. The TV came tumbling down and landed upside down on some shoes. I guess the shoes cushioned the fall because the TV works perfectly. My husband has told me 1,000 times to slow down so I won't bump into things, which I do often. I will never tell him that the TV fell from 5 feet and it was totally my fault. I also accidentally popped a leg off of my mother-in-law's antique Queen Anne style vanity dressing table. It has 7 other legs and I wedged it back in place. No one knows or ever will. Okay, so I have a male friend. His nickname is Tornado. So because he's always bumping into things and breaking things. I guess this is the female Tornado. Tornado, if you're watching, I love you, man. This woman and I worked together for about 4 months before we told each other that we had mutual feelings for each other. On our third date, I went back to her apartment. She asked me to stay the night. Very little happened as we wanted to take it slow. In the middle of the night, she rips this loud fart. I'm a very light sleeper. We've been together married for 17 years now, and she still farts in her sleep, but I will never tell her. Are you a sleep farter? I ate the last Reese's peanut butter egg and blaming it on one of the kids. Okay, cool. What are your secrets that you're willing to take to the grave. If you have an anonymous YouTube and nobody knows your thing, drop a comment below, or maybe tell me which one of these stood out for you and which one you found was pretty funny or you can relate to or have a similar experience. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.